ladies and gents and others, this is Rosie, and today I am very excited to do a review of Heart Killers. Now, before we really go into the meat and potatoes, let's talk about the cast. We've got Jojo, who is well known in directing Never Let Me Go and Only Friends. This drama is 12 episodes long and you can watch it on iQIYI. It finished off rated as 8.1 on my drama list, but personally I give it a 7 out of 10. Well, let's break it down as to why I'm giving it such a low rating. As for the main actors, we have Fest, who plays Kant, who is a snitch. We have Kao, who is playing Bison, who is one of the assassins, and these two are a couple. And then we have Jong, who plays Fadel, who's also an assassin. And we have Dunk, who plays Style, who is a mechanic. So these are the main cast. On paper, this show had everything going for it. You got two assassins, Fadel and Bison, who gets tangled up with two unexpected partners. Kant, who's a manipulative snitch. Okay, he's working with the police. And then you've got Style, who is a chaotic mechanic who unknowingly dates a hitman just to win an old car. With betrayals, with crime and love clashing together, this show had all the right ingredients for a gripping BL drama. With a trailer that promised dark, brooding action and a synopsis that teased of revenge, romance and danger, I went in expecting something along the lines of Manner of Death, meet Kin Posh. So that is what I was looking for. Now, the biggest hindrance for this show is we went in expecting an action thriller, but instead we got a romantic comedy masquerading a crime thriller. Eventually I got the memoir. This is a full-on romantic comedy with police corruption and crime elements thrown in for good measure. It was a total whiplash, folks. I was disappointed. Let's be real, if Fadel and Bison were actually hitmen, they'll be in jail by now. The lack of realism was almost out of control. That being said, let's break down what worked and what didn't. Now, let's start with what worked. As someone who has known Jong since Jong 9, I have seen that Jong has grown as an actor. His performance as Fadel, he absolutely nailed this role. It was chef's kiss. He had an aura of a hitman and a little bit of a soft side. And his emotional scenes, some of the most gripping scenes in the entire drama. I think that Jong really proved himself as a great actor who has matured, who has grown as time has progressed, and he is someone that will really go places with his acting career. He has improved year after year, and this show really showed you the way he commanded the camera, the way he would show up, his aura, his way of delivering lines is much more polished than before. He really was outstanding, and I was really impressed with his performance. Now let's talk about Jong and Dunk chemistry. This is not their first rodeo. They've worked together before, and it really shows. Their dynamic was quite believable and engaging. Their scenes were really electric. However, we'll talk about the kissing scenes in a bit, because I have something to say about the kissing scenes. However, Jong and Dunk, when they're together, I did enjoy their scenes. They were quite entertaining. And Dunk, as Style, just brought this chaotic energy that I think the directors really wanted Dunk to give us. And he was really entertaining. And I really did, was not bored when he was on the screen. Overall, I really liked the balanced screen time between the two couples. Too often, BL dramas focus on one pair, while the other feels more like a filler couple. But this drama really gave us equal, if not tried to be equal, amounts of screen time between the two couples. Each of those four characters got the chance to give us and to show us and to really shine, and it felt really intentional, and it was really refreshing for the director to do this. Now let's talk about the overall production of the show. The music wasn't really anything that stood out. However, I really enjoyed the overall production of the show. There were no scenes that were out of place. I was never annoyed at how it was shot or how the scenes were presented to us, it was an acceptable production quality for standard GMMTV. The editing and the visual presentation were quite decent. It felt very solid and nothing groundbreaking by any measure of degree, but it was definitely easy to look at in the eyes. I really appreciate the consistency in quality from the very first episode to the episode that I finished watching it. I have not finished the show. I am trying to finish the show. 2 episodes left, but I really do enjoy the visualization. The visual director did a great job. Now let's talk about what I didn't like in the show. They casted Kao as Jong's older brother. I don't think this was a great choice. I felt like Jong and Dak might have been great for this drama. However, Kao looks visually older than Jong. Yes, I know that Kao tried to act very silly, very childish, but ultimately he does look older than Jong in my eyes. I could be biased. And because of this, sometimes whenever Jong would say brother, younger brother, it kind of took me away from seeing the show, because I'll be like, but Jong is younger. Because of that, I felt that Kao as an adorable younger brother truly fell flat for me. I don't know, the dynamic didn't really work for me, and that could be because I know that in real life Jong is younger than Kao. It could be that, but I would have wanted them to actually cast someone who is younger than Jong. So I really didn't really enjoy that part of the show. Now let's talk about the plot. This is where I have the biggest problem. The script was full of plot holes. The plot was so bad that I had to just turn off my mind at some points. If you are someone who likes something very coherent, well thought out, well executed story, this might not be for you. If you went in expecting depth, well, you're out of luck, because that is not what this show gave us. I will try not to spoil a lot of the plot lines, but some things just needs to be discussed. For example, there's a scene where Fadel and Tayo are in a store just like shopping, and then a gunman comes through and is like trying to shoot them. First of all, there's no one in the store. Not even the shopkeeper sees that there's a gunman in the store, and the gunman is literally walking around with a gun. Okay, I would assume this is not common in Thailand. I would assume it's not common anywhere where someone can just roll around with a gun. Do you know what I mean? And I would also assume when bullets are fired, police are called. Like, anyway, I digress. So Tayo sees the gunman and he's like, I'm gonna go distract the gunman. And he's saying that to Fadel. And Fadel was like, no, he's got a gun. You can't distract him. And then Fadel was like, I got this. And then he goes and tries to distract the gunman and he gets shot. And at the end, Fadel is still not able to catch the gunman because he's got a literal gun. He runs away or whatever. This was such a terrible plot scene that got me baffled, because how are you gonna distract a gunman? How are you gonna distract someone who's coming at you with a gun? You run. You don't distract them. You run. Like, there is nothing that you can do when someone is coming to kill you. You know what I mean? Other scenes, such as the fact that Fadel keeps on telling Bison, listen, Bison, okay? Don't fall in love. Don't be stupid. Don't do this. These people are bad. These 2 guys that are after us, they are after us for a reason, okay? They've got a mission. They've got something that they want from us. So be careful. Don't fall in love. So why does Fadel completely disregard everything he's been saying and persist to fall in love? And I understand this is a BL drama. I really do understand that. But it gets to the point where he was saying it so much, I was completely baffled when it didn't take much for him to fumble. It didn't take much for him to fall in love and to completely go to the other side. I don't know. This just irritated me. And in the middle of him telling Bison, don't fall in love, he had already fallen in love some of the scenes, and that annoyed me. Also, Kant, okay, he knows that he's dating a hitman, serial killer, psychopath, whatever it is, he knows that this person is dangerous. This person has killed people. But then he takes Bison to his house. He takes him where his brother is. Not only that, he takes him where his brother goes to school. And it's like he completely is undercover, but he completely takes on Bison and absorbs him in his life. And it's just so stupid, because why would you do that? This person can kill you any day. You are putting your brother at risk, your family, and everybody around you by actually bringing him into your real life. I really don't like this stupid plot and script writing. If someone is a civilian going undercover to someone who is potentially highly aggressive, highly dangerous, you don't just be like, just go in as yourself. No, like, this was such lazy writing for me. I really didn't like this plot line. I felt like they could have done more to protect Kant's identity and Kant's life and brother. The brother didn't need to meet the hitman. He didn't need to be involved. The hitman didn't need to, I'm gonna just say the assassin didn't need to go to his school and know about everything about him. Also, the fact that they go to school and they find out there's this teacher that is dating one of the students, and instead of reporting it, they proceed to hit the teacher in one of the school toilets. However, the teacher actually keeps up with them and actually hits back. And at one point, he was winning against these two strong men, and one of them is an assassin. Like, why? What do you mean he is winning against an assassin that has killed many people? He actually puts up a fight. Of course, he doesn't win, but why would this be in the script? Like, why would you have an assassin fight an old man and still the old man keeps up a fight? Like, how are you able to kill these people as an assassin that are even stronger than this old man? You know what I mean? Things like that were very annoying and irritating to see, because there's no love there. There's no due diligence made. If he's an assassin, it should have taken him 2 or 3 hits and that guy should have been on the floor. You guys had to grab a broom. You had to that was very disappointing to see. I also didn't like the fact that Bison kept on ignoring the advice of his brother that, listen, we need to investigate these people. Are you sure? That he was just in La La Land. This Bison was just la 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 love love love. I don't like how Bison at one point he ditched his job, okay, because they are running this restaurant. And instead of saying, listen, I'm not able to come for a shift, I am gonna be on a date, he doesn't communicate. Just doesn't turn up to the restaurant. And the actual restaurant, they actually have customers. So he just decides to go and make out with Kant in his tattoo shop. And it's just like, you got a job to do, okay? I don't know what the writer was trying to communicate. The fact that Bison is this airhead, unresponsible character who also happens to be an assassin. But this contradicts his profile as an assassin, because assassins are supposed to be very careful. They're supposed to be very above intelligent, because they have to get away with things more than normal human beings do. So they can't just be stupid. And I found Bison's character stupid a few times and time again. And it's just like, it left me speechless. And for me, this is not due to the actor, but this is just due to just bad plot writing. Just to further support my statement, Bison is an assassin. However, he brings Kant to his house. He brings him to his lair, okay, where they keep all the evidence is there. And his brother at this point is telling him, yo, bro, I think these people are setting us up. Something is happening. You need to be extra careful. He then takes Kant to his house. So before he even gets to the house, they get drunk in a restaurant somewhere and agrees to take Kant to his house. And before they get drunk, he had already agreed. They go to the house. He gives him the key. My man proceeds to pass out and Kant has full reign of the house. Kant proceeds to look around the house, but the fact that Bison, as an assassin, he can be taken out by just alcohol. He's not able to be vigilant at all times as an assassin. I just don't understand. Even me, if I was an assassin, I wouldn't first of all take him to my house. I would take him to a hotel and pretend as if it's my house. Rent an Airbnb and pretend as if it's my house. Never be that drunk to the point where I am passing out and there's evidence lying around the house. At that point, Kant could have called police and police could have raided the house there and then and found all the evidence. So ultimately, I don't mean to be picky, but this show disappointed me time and time again. There's so much that didn't make sense that I had to turn off my brain to. The plot for me was cringeworthy. Some dialogue had me physically recalling. For example, there's a scene where there's a little musical. There's a little musical where they just kind of start dancing. You're doing bowling. Why are you singing and dancing at a bowling alley? It got me so confused, like, what the hell is going on? Like, this was so cringy, unnecessary. Come on, this is an assassin TV show. And I get it, it's trying not to be serious. But that was very cringy because you just kind of see them start dancing and it's kind of awkward and I'm just like, what is happening? What is happening right now? Why are they singing in supposed to be bowling? Because nobody in real life is gonna just start singing from nowhere if it's not a musical. So I was like, do they want this to be a musical? Well, like, what's going on? What's going on, writers? You know, you're confusing me. Also, the cast was very, very small. Sometimes it made the show look empty and low budget. Sometimes there were no bustling city scenes. Nah, this is really not a big issue, but it's just something that I noticed as I was watching. Now let's talk about Kant's character, okay? I hated Kant as a character. I hated his whole makeup. I didn't like anything about this character. Kant knows that Bison and Fadel are hitmen, but he manipulates his friend into dating one of them so he can then be closer to them. Not only, like I said before, does he endanger his brother, he's also endangering his friend, because there's no way in hell would I convince my friend to date a serial killer or an assassin or a hitman. Like, in what world would you convince someone to do that? And once Style finds out that this is what happens, he kind of like gets over it after 2 minutes. Like, he could have died. There's so many scenes that Fadel wanted to kill Style. One scene in the restaurant where they're in the kitchen and at one point he really was going to be stabbed by that thing in the neck. Not only is he endangering himself, he's endangering everybody around him. I found that the music opening the OCT was just average. The sound production, there's some scenes that didn't really have good sound system, and like I said, none of the music in the show really stood out. The OCT really gives the feelings to the show, and the OCTs and the music compositions of the show was just so lacking. The music didn't add anything to the show. There's so many dramas that have taught us how important sound is to the show, and in this show, sound didn't add anything to the show. You could watch the show without sound and it wouldn't make a difference. In conclusion, this show was truly a 7 out of 10 for me, mostly because I really think that Jong really stood out. He did a great job and he really carried the show for me. He brilliantly portrayed a caring brother who is also very emotionless. I am very eager to see his next project. I think that Dunk should really improve on his kissing scenes, because I've seen Jong 9, okay, and I know Jong can kiss. I know Jong can kiss because I've seen him kissing before. I can fully enjoy their intimate scene if Dunk improves in his kissing. This is so heartbreaking because they look good together. They look visually matching in terms of just the visuals are visually. But they're kissing. The kissing. And you can see that Dunk is giving his all. Like, he's trying. My man is trying. But Dunk is just opening his mouth. He's just like, I'm like, say you gotta do something. You gotta do something. And that is what I really liked about this Kawa and Fest. Kawa and Fest really kissed like they meant it. You know what I mean? Even though their BDM scenes were very cringe, but like they were really kissing, like they really want to kiss. But Dunk, I just think he needs to just improve on his kissing. I'm really looking forward to his Jong and Dunk's future TV shows, and I really hope that is really like nipped in the bud. Like, Dunk needs to improve, guys. Like, so where does it leave us? A strong premises, competent actors, and a director who has been proven that he can deliver, because his other shows were really good. But somewhere along the lines, it lost its way. It didn't land. It didn't deliver. A thriller turned into a rom-com that didn't quite land. I just want to ask Jojo, what happened? You had a chance to really make something great, something dark, action-packed thriller. Instead, you gave us a wannabe romantic comedy with wannabe hitmans. I didn't totally hate this show. There were moments of brilliance, especially from Jong, like I said. And like I said, the balanced screen time between couples were a welcome change. But overall, it felt really unloved and it didn't really live up to its potential. As for me, I'm excited to see Dunk and Jong in their next upcoming series. And I really do hope that Dunk and Jong will get something more deserving of their time.